Okay, hi everyone. So let's start with second part of May 2020 MTP statistics part. We are already done with maths part questions 1 to 40. Right now we'll go from 61 to 100. Let me tell you once again, like in all other videos, that in final exam questions are not going to be like this in sequence. First maths, then LR, then statistics. The questions are going to be mixed. Also in MTP questions are given chapter wise. That is obviously not going to be there in the exam. Fine. So let's start with 61 and up to 100. See, in statistics, you should always focus on solving the questions fast because there are a lot of theory questions, a lot of questions where you don't have to calculate much. Okay, so those questions, if you save time in those questions, then you can use that time in big questions like SD or median mode or maybe APGP or permutations combinations type of questions and so on. So theory questions or short questions like this, try to solve them fast. Let's start. Find number of observations between 250 and 300 from the following data. This is greater than type cumulative frequency distribution. We want observation between 250 and 300. See, 250 and more than 250 are 38 observations, right? So there are 38 observations like this, or maybe let's write it like this, 38. And more than 300, that means 300 and more, there are 15 observations. We want between 250 and 300, that means, can I say we want this area? So how will we calculate it? 38 minus 15. 38 minus 15 is 23. Option B is the correct answer. Next. Difference between upper limit and lower limit of class. Now see, upper limit and lower limit, that is called as class interval. Actually not difference. Class interval is what? Upper limit to lower limit. That is called as class interval. Okay. Difference between upper boundary and lower boundary is called as class length or class width. Okay. But no other option fits properly. Class boundaries is not correct, mid value is not correct, frequency is not correct. So let's take class interval. Ideally it should not be difference. Okay, it should be like the length. I mean, lower limit to upper limit is called as class interval. Okay, fine. 63. Again, less than type. How many students got marks more than 30? Okay. Now see, below 50 there are 100 students. Below 50 there are 100 students, and below 30 there are 65 students. That means this is 100 and below 30 this is 65. We want more than 30, that means we want this area. So 100 minus 65 is 35, option C. Median of a distribution can be obtained from less than type ogives. We know that. Okay, we plot cumulative frequency curve and then we say then we take n by 2 here, and this is the median. Then I hope everyone knows this. You should know the concept. Obviously we don't have to draw the graph. For opponent classification, which is the best measure of central tendency? Median, because it does not need the end, I mean upper class boundary of the last class or lower class boundary of the first class. See, if the problem is like this, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 and 30 and above, then we cannot calculate mean, because 30 and above we cannot calculate midpoint of that class. So median would be a best way, because median only requires I mean, first of all, median is the middle, median is in the middle, and it requires only lower class boundary, not upper class boundary. Okay. Mode is anyway not a good measure, okay, as compared to median. In case of an even number of observations, which of the following is median? Okay, which of the following is median? Even number of observations. Let's say we have two observations. So what do? We take their average. So average of middle values, simple average of two middle values. Option B. For a moderately skewed distribution, which of the following relationship holds? Don't make silly mistake in this. The answer is mean minus mode is equal to 3 times mean minus median. Option A. Remember that mode is on left hand side, and whenever we multiply by 3 there is median on that side. Okay, because there is a lot of scope of silly mistake in this question. 68. Two variables. Now a lot of questions are on change of origin and change of scale, so let's solve. Two variables x and y are given by y is equal to 2x minus 3. If median of x is 20, what is median of y? See, we know that median, mean and mode are affected by change of origin also and change of scale also. In such case, what you can do is just put x as 20 and see what is y. So y will be 2 into 20 minus 3, that is 37. Again, if relationship between two variables u and v is given by 2u plus v plus 7 is equal to 0, and aim of u is 10, that is u bar is 10, then aim of v is, again like I said, aim is also affected by change of origin and change of scale both. So what we can do is just directly put the value of u as 10 So 2 into 10 plus V plus 7 is equal to 0. That means what? 27 plus V is equal to 0. So V is minus 27. So V bar, that is mean of V, is minus 27. Appropriate measure of dispersion for open end classification, again quartile deviation, because we don't need the ends. It is just Q3 minus Q1. Okay, Q3 minus Q1. Next. Let Rx and Ry denote ranges of X and Y respectively, where X and Y are related by this. What would be the relation between X and Y? Okay, range of X and range of Y they wanted to ask, Rx and Ry. Now understand, range is affected only by positive value of change of scale, right? So you should remember like this: if y is equal to a plus bx, then range y is equal to absolute value of b into range x. Okay, so let's try to use this. If y is equal to a plus bx, so let's try to rearrange this in a standard form of y is equal to a plus bx. See, we know that 3x plus 2y plus 10 is equal to 0. That means 2y is equal to minus 3x minus 10. Okay, or let's write minus 10 minus 3x if we want to go by standard form. Fine. That means can I write as y is equal to minus 10 by 2 minus 3 by 2x. Okay. Now it is in standard form. Check. Y is equal to a plus bx. That means this is a, that is change of origin, and this is b, that is change of scale. Right. So change of scale is minus 3 by 2. So now range of y will be absolute value of minus 3 by 2 into range of x. Range of x they have given. I mean, no, they have not given. They have just asked relationship. So range of x. That's it. So it will be what? If we take, I mean, this is going to be positive because of absolute sign. So 2 range of y is equal to 3 range of x. Option C. 2 range of y is equal to 3 range of x. Again, similar question. If x and y are related by this and SD of x is 9, then SD of y is. SD is also affected by positive value of change of scale. Okay. So let's bring it to standard form first. If we rearrange this, 3y is equal to minus 4 minus 2x. That means y is equal to minus 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3x. That means this is the change of scale. So sigma y will be 2 by 3 into sigma x, that is 9. 2 by 3 into 9 will be 6. Option B. Quartiles of a variable are q1, q2, q3 respectively. Its quartile deviation is, we know that quartile deviation is q3 minus q1 upon 2. So answer will be what? 15. Option A. Again, change of origin and change of scale. There are two more questions like this. Fine. If x and y are related as 3x plus 4y is 20 and qd of x is 16, then what is qd of y? Again, for all the measures of dispersion, always remember, if y is equal to a plus bx, then qd of y or sd of y or range of y, whatever it is absolute value of b into qd of x. So again, let's rearrange that. 4y will be equal to 20 minus 3x. That means y will be equal to 20 by 4 minus 3 by 4x. That means this is the change of scale. So QD of y, how can we find? QD of y will be 3 by 4 positive value of change of scale multiplied by QD of x is 16. So that will be 12. Option D. 15, same concept. If x and y are related by y is equal to 2x plus 5 and SD and AM of x are known to be 5 and 10 respectively, then what is CV of y? We know that CV is equal to sigma upon mean into 100. So we have to find sigma of SD of y and mean of y both. Mean of y is easy, that is y bar. So let's put value of x as 10 here. AM is 10, right? So y is equal to 2 into 10 plus 5, that is 25. That will be y bar, mean of y. And for SD, we only have to take change of scale, which is 2. So SD of y will be what? SD of x into 2. That means 5 into 2, 10. So answer will be what? 10 by 25 into 100. What is 10 by 25 into 100? 40. C is the correct answer. What is spurious correlation? Spurious correlation, we know that it is correlation between two variables having no causal relation. That is, for example, correlation between production of wheat and production of rice. Okay. Now see, generally it might happen that as production of wheat increases, production of rice also increases. But that is not because of their relationship. Why does it happen? Production of wheat will increase because of rainfall and climate conditions. Production of rice will also increase because of rainfall and climate conditions. That is why both of them will increase or both of them will decrease together. But that does not mean they are related with each other or they are dependent on each other. Okay. Such correlation is called as spurious correlation. When R is equal to 1, perfect positive, the points in scatter diagram would be like this, right? So upward sloping, that is on a straight line directed from lower left to upper right. Option A will be correct. 78. If coefficient of correlation, that is R, is 0.8, then percentage of variation unaccounted for. Variation unaccounted for, that is unexplained variance. Unexplained variance is, always remember, coefficient of non-determination. How do we find coefficient of determination? Coefficient of determination is R square. Coefficient of non-determination is 1 minus R square. So it will be 1 minus 0.8 square. How much is that? 0.36, that is 36% if we want to write in percentages. If for two variables x and y, covariance, variance of x and variance of y, okay, let's write it. Covariance is 40, sigma square x is 16, sigma square y is 256. Then what is correlation coefficient? We have a formula of correlation coefficient, covariance of xy upon sigma x sigma y. So it will be 40 upon root 16, that is 4, into root 256, that is 16. So what is 40 by 4 by 16? 0.625. Option B will be the correct answer. Next, question number 80. If relation between x and u is this, and correlation coefficient between x and y is minus 0.6, okay, the minus that has gone there, minus 0.6. What is correlation between u and y? Okay, correlation coefficient. Always understand, if we want to check for correlation coefficient, it is not affected by change of origin. First of all, it is not even affected by change of scale's value, that is magnitude. It is only affected by sign of change of scale. Sign of change of scale. That is, if, okay, remember, if x is changed, if x is changed by a negative number, that is change of scale is negative, and y is positive, then r becomes opposite in sign, that is negative. If this is positive, this is negative, then also r becomes opposite in sign. But if both x and y are positive or both x and y are negative, then r does not change. So let's check here what is happening with x. How will we get u? U will be what? If you rearrange that, if you see minus 3 by 4x minus 7 by 4, right? That means x is getting changed in negative direction. Understand, scale of x is changing in negative direction. If scale of x is changing in negative direction and scale of y is not changing because y is remaining as it is, that means one is positive, one is negative. Y is positive, x is negative. So correlation coefficient will change the sign. Instead of minus 0.6, it will now become plus 0.6. Option C. Next. Three events ABC are mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely. What is the probability of complementary event of A? Okay. Equally likely and mutually exclusive and exhaustive. That means they have to be like in exactly three parts, right? If we have a circle as universal set, then they are exactly in three parts having one third probability. Correct. So let's say this is A. So A dash will be what? B and C. B or C, that is 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, 2 by 3. Next. What is the chance of picking a spade or an ace not of spade from a pack of 52 cards? Okay. How many spades are there? Spades are 13, right? So 13 by 52. Or means plus. Or is union, right? An ace not of spade. Ace not of spade means what? How many aces are there which are not of spade? Ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, and ace of clubs. That is 3 by 52. Correct. Is there anything common between this? No, there is nothing common. Okay, if there was anything common, then we would have subtracted, if this is A and B, A intersection B. But spade and ace not of spade, that means there is nothing common in this. So answer will be 16 by 52. Okay, if we cancel by 4, it will be 4 by 13. Option A. Hmm. Next, find the probability that a 4-digit number comprising of the digits 2, 5, 6, 7 would be divisible by 4. Always go to denominator first. Denominator is going to be 4 factorial because there are 4 digits. So total 24 numbers can be formed. Hmm. Let's see what will be numerator now. See, divisibility test of 4 is that if we have 4-digit number or if we have any digit number, last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. Last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. That means definitely 5 and 7 cannot come at end. 2 can come at end. Fine. Or 6 can come at end. But if 2 comes at the end, let's see what can come at third place. Tell me, 52, is it divisible by 4? 52, is it divisible by 4? 52 by 4, you can check. Yes, right. That means 5 can come there. Okay, so let me write it like this. 5 can come, or uh, 5 can come, or 62. 62 is not divisible by 4, so 6 cannot come. 72 is divisible by 4. That means 7 also can come. So one way to arrange this, two ways to arrange this. Okay. Now 2 is gone, 1 out of 5 or 7 is gone. Remaining 2 can be arranged in 2 factorial ways. That means 2 into 2, 4 will be the answer for this. Similarly, if 6 is at the end, 56 is divisible by 4, so 5 can come. 26 is not divisible, so 2 cannot come. 76 is divisible, so 7 can come. So again 1, then 2 ways, and again 2 factorial ways. So that will also be 4. So 4 plus 4, 8 ways are there total. 8 by 24 is 1 by 3. So B will be the correct answer for this. Just a second. 84. Probability that an accountant's job applicant has a BCom degree is 0.85. That he is a CA is 0.3. And that he is both BCom and CA is 0.25. Out of 500 applicants, how many would be BCom or CA? BCom or CA. Let's call this A, let's call this B. BCom and CA both means this is A intersection B. And BCom or CA means we want probability of A union B. We know that probability of A union B is what? Probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So answer is going to be 0.85 plus 0.3 minus 0.25, that is 0.9. Okay. Now they have given wrong options actually. Out of 500 applicants, how many would be BCom or CA? So that answer will be 500 into 0.9. That will be 450. But they have given probability in the answer. Okay, fine. Okay. They should have given expected value in the answer. All these questions are from module only. Next, Rupesh is known to hit a target in 5 out of 9 shots. So probability of Rupesh is 5 by 9. Whereas probability of David is 6 out of 11 if you read. Then what is the probability that the target would be hit once they both try? Would be hit means what? Would be hit by any one of them. So one way to do this will be, see, Rupesh will hit and David will hit, or Rupesh will not hit and David will hit, or Rupesh will hit and David will not hit. Okay, so take R is 5 by 9 and means into, D means 6 by 11, plus R dash means 4 by 9 into 6 by 11, plus R is 5 by 9 into 5 by 11. Okay, this will be the answer. Or you can go by opposite way also, the target will not be hit and then subtract it from 1. So any way is fine. So what will be the total of numerator? 5 into 6, m plus 4 into 6, m plus 5 into 5, m plus 79 by 99. If you want, you can go by opposite way also, that will be faster. It will not be hit. How will you find that? Not be hit means what? Target will not be hit means what? It will not be hit by Rupesh and it will not be hit by David. That means R dash and D dash. This we have to subtract from 1. So it will be 1 minus R dash is 4 by 9 and D dash is 5 by 11. So 1 minus 20 by 99. Answer will be same, 79 by 99. Okay, both ways are okay. Next, in connection with a random experiment, it is found that probability of A is 2 by 3, probability of B is 3 by 5, Probability of A union B is also given. We want A given B. A given B is what? Probability of A intersection B upon probability of B. So we need intersection. We can find it from formula. We know that probability of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So 5 by 6 will be equal to, if we cross multiply this, 10 plus 9, 19 by 15 minus probability of A intersection B. So probability of A intersection B will be what? 19 by 15 minus 5 by 6. So that is going to be how much? 19 into 6 m plus 15 into 5 m minus 39 by 90. If you want, you can reduce it to 13 by 30. That is okay. So I hope everyone has understood this, so that I'll erase this part. So now we have probability of A intersection B. We can put it in the formula. A given B is what? A intersection B, that is 39 by 90, or if you reduce by 3, 13 by 30 divided by probability of B, which is 3 by 5. That means what? 13 by 30 into 5 by 3. So 6, that will be 13 by 18. Option D. Okay. Next. In a business venture, a man can make a profit of 50,000 or incur a loss of 20,000. Probability of making profit, 50,000 profit, probability is 0.75. 20,000 loss, probability is 0.25. What is expected profit? This is x, this is probability, right? We know that expected value of x is summation px. So 50,000 into 0.75 m plus and negative 20,000, okay, 20,000 and then minus sign into 0.25. Why? Because loss means negative profit, right? That also m plus. If you press MRC, you should get 32,500, option D. Next, find probability of success for a binomial distribution satisfying the following relation and having parameter n as 6. Okay, now this is going to be a bit lengthy, okay, because we have to form an equation from this. So let's try to form an equation. Just a second. Okay, what is given? N is 6 and 4 into probability of x is equal to 4 is equal to probability that x is equal to 2. Fine. So 4 times probability of 4 successes is equal to probability of 2 successes. N is given as 6. Fine. Let's substitute PMF of binomial distribution. PMF of binomial distribution is what? NCX, P raised to x, Q raised to n minus x. So it will be 4 into 6C4 into P raised to 4 into Q raised to 6 minus 4. That is Q raised to 2. Let me write it directly. Into 6C2 into P square into Q raised to 4. 6 minus 2. Now if you observe, if you remember rules of combination, 64 and 62 is same. So cancel them. Then using rules of indices, P square can be cancelled and here only square will remain. Q square will be cancelled and here only square will remain. So what we are getting is 4P square is equal to Q square. But we know that Q is what? 1 minus P. 1 minus P bracket square, right? So 4P square will be what? 1 square minus, that is 1, minus 2P plus P square. Okay, we are getting an equation from this. 4P square minus P square is 3P square, then plus 2P minus 1 is equal to 0. Let's try to solve this. Minus B plus minus square root of B square minus 4AC, that is 4 square root of B square 4 minus will be plus 4AC will be 12 upon 2A. So obviously negative answer is not going to hold still. 4 plus 12 is 16. Root 16 is 4. So minus 2 minus 4 by 6 or minus 2 plus 4 by 6. This is negative, so probability cannot be negative. Let's ignore it. 4 minus 2, 2 by 6. 2 by 6 is 1 by 3. This is probability of success. That means probability of failure is 2 by 3. So now we know that the binomial distribution follows parameters as 6 and 1 by 3. Okay, N and P. Let's solve now. We want probability of success. That's it. Okay, fine. So 1 by 3. There's a question in module where you have to calculate probability of 2 successes or 3 successes or something like that. You don't need to do that. Probability of success we have already got 1 by 3. Again from module, an experiment succeeds thrice as after it fails. That is, it succeeds thrice as much as it fails. That means probability of success is thrice as much as probability of failure, right? Probability of success is thrice as much as probability of failure. So, but we know that Q is equal to 1 minus P, right? So P will be 3 into 1 minus P. That means P is equal to 3 minus 3P. That means 4P is equal to 3. That means P is equal to 3 by 4. If the experiment is repeated 5 times, what is the probability of having no success at all? No success at all means probability of x is equal to 0. N is 5, P is 3 by 4. So answer will be NCX, that is 5C01, into P raised to 0, that is 1, into Q raised to 5. Right, so 1 by 4 raised to 5 will be the answer, which is option B. Next is question 90. If the two quartiles of a normal distribution are 47.3 and 52.7 respectively, we know that two quartiles are mu minus 0.675 sigma and mu plus 0.675 sigma. That is given as 47.3 and 52.7. Then what is mode of the distribution? Also find mean deviation about median. They're asking two questions, but they have given only one option because they have just taken this from solved example of modules, right? So let's see which one is in the options. Let's add it first. So 2 mu will be cancelled. So 47.3 plus 52.7 is 100. That means we get mu as 50, and let's put 50 here. So 50 minus 47.3 divided by 0.675, sigma we get as 4, right? What is mode? Mode will be 50 because mode and mean is same. That is not in the options. That means mean deviation. Mean deviation will be what? For a normal distribution, mean deviation is approximately 0.8 sigma. Okay, so 4 into 0.8, that is 3.2. Option C will be the correct answer. Next, 91. X follows normal distribution with mean as 50, variance as 100. That is, X follows normal distribution with 50, 100. What is probability of X is greater than equal to 60? Let's convert it to standard normal first. So probability at, this means probability at Z is greater than equal to 60 minus 50 by standard deviation is 10. Okay. That means probability that Z is greater than equal to 10 by 10, that is 1. So in a standard normal graph where this is 0, we want probability of greater than 1, that means this area we want. They have given phi 1, that is value from Biometrica table or standard normal distribution table, as 0.8413, but understand that 0.8413 is this value, the one I am writing in red color, because that table is cumulative, right, up to that point, from negative infinity up to that point. So this is 0.8413. So this part that we want will be 1 minus 0.8413, which is 0.1587, option C, which is the closest answer. Number of misprints per page of a thick book follows Poisson distribution, because we know that something per something, maybe calls per hour, per book, per month, accents per month, things like that, or maybe growth per minute or something like that follows Poisson distribution approximately. If for Poisson variable f of 2 is equal to 3 times f of 3, f of 4, what is variance of x? Okay. Variance is m, right? So let's write PMF. PMF will be e raised to minus m into m raised to 2 here upon 2 factorial is equal to 3 times e raised to minus m into m raised to 4 upon 4 factorial, right? So e raised to m minus m, e raised to minus m will be cancelled if we divide it. M square, only m square will remain here. This is 24, so 3, this will be 8. This is 2, so 2, 1 and 4. That means we have nothing on left hand side. 1 is equal to m square by 4. That means m square is 4. That means m is 2. So 2 will be the correct answer, variance. If the points of inflection of a normal curve, points of inflection are mu plus sigma and mu minus sigma, are 40 and 60 respectively, then mean deviation is, okay. If we add it, 2 mu is equal to 100, that means mu is equal to 50, just like the question above. Okay, and sigma will be what? Let's put it. So if this is like, okay, sorry, this should have been 60 and this should have been 40. Huh, okay. So if this we put as 50, then sigma will be 10. Hmm. And mean deviation is what? 0.8 sigma. 0.8 sigma will be 10 into 0.8, that is 8. 8 is the correct answer, which is not in the options. This is also from module. In module also, I think they have given the wrong options. Now on index number and time series, if theory questions come, that is the easiest part. Fisher's index number satisfies time reversal factorizable both. Fisher's ideal index number is GM of last place and pastures. You know that. Time series has 4 components. We know that. Okay. What 4 components are there of time series? Seasonal component, cyclical component, long-term trend component, and irregular component. And additive model is sum of these 4 components, which is y is equal to t plus s plus c plus I. C and D options make no sense. 99. Pastures and Fisher's index numbers are 169 and 156 respectively. Okay, this is Pastures, this is Fisher's. We know that Fisher's is equal to square root of last pairs into Pastures. Then what is last pairs they're asking? So let's take square. So 156 square, that is 24336, whatever, is equal to, don't write it, L into 169. So divide it by 169. So L will be 144, option A. Last. Wholesale price index number or of agricultural commodities in a given region at a given date is 280. Percentage increase in prices of agricultural commodities over base year. Base year must be 100, right? Now it is 280. So what is percentage increase? It has increased by 180, right? From 100 it went to 280. So percentage increase is 180. That is the correct answer. Okay. So I hope all the questions are clear. If you have any doubt, let me know in comments. I'll solve those. Okay. So bye everyone. Let's stop here for this part.